New update information about troops, equipment, the ore economy, Town Hall 18, Builder-Base, Clan Capital, Clashiversary, you name it, we have information about it, and I'm going to summarize everything we know in this video, starting with equipment. We can expect a new piece of epic equipment every 2 months for the rest of 2025. So since we didn't get one this month, we will get a new epic in August. Once Town Hall 18 is released, there are 2 options when it comes to equipment levels. Either there will be new levels, or likely the team will try and just balance current levels so that damage equipment is still viable at the higher town halls. This is because the Clash of Clans team recognize the ore economy is not in a good spot right now. This is particularly the case when it comes to starry ore and returning players. Whilst there will likely only be smaller changes in 2025, moving into next year, we can expect a change to how ore is distributed so that it is better for all players. David, the product manager for Clash of Clans, stated that they have Hammer Jam for regular upgrades, but what does Hammer Jam look like when it comes to ore? Alluding to there might be a period where we can catch up a little bit easier, which would be awesome. I'd like to think some starry ore within the star bonus would help, and that will link into something regarding community events, which I'll be discussing in a moment. Regarding regular events though, we will likely see some changes to season challenges, and this is to try and link the challenges to the core gameplay that you do every day, so you don't have to go off and use a certain troop or attack in the builder base. You will just gain points from stars, for example, so you are progressing via the regular gameplay loop. When it comes to challenges though, Clan Games needs some improvement. The Clash of Clans team recognized that there was twice as many participants in the Gold Rush event than regular Clan Games. It doesn't have any novelty, and it doesn't feel like you're completing the challenges as a clan. So the team are in the ideation phase as to how to improve this. One idea they suggested was maybe some sort of bingo board whereby as a clan you complete smaller challenges to unlock the larger task that you want. They would still try and assure that rewards are a little bit more deterministic since you can select from the few different options, but we would see some changes to Clan Games in the future. For the Gold Rush event though, that was really successful and we will see it again, just not collecting gold. Next time around, we will see either Elixir or Dark Elixir. There will be a different theme tied to it, and they are looking to improve the event via more ways to collaborate, perhaps a boost weekend where you get double points, but they will still keep the rewards as a decoration or cosmetic at the top so that the progression-based items you don't have to grind as much for. And they do want to keep the novelty aspect of the event, so we would only see it 3 to 4 times per year. Another event we will see very soon is the Unlimited Heroes event. Last time this took place in July of 2024, monetization went down, which the team was not majorly concerned with, but they also didn't see an uptick when it comes to attacks because of that, so it wasn't worth the trade-off. However, now with Clash Anytime, maybe that will be different, and I also said to the team that I think a 1-month window of data is not long enough for them to see players that might churn because of the friction point due to heroes when they're upgrading. So I am glad they're running this event again, and hopefully they see some better results. The Clash of Clans team said that by adding more heroes, they hope to relieve this friction point a bit, which I understand, but I did say back to them that the overall amount of hero upgrades we have to do as they're adding more heroes needs careful consideration, because with the Minion Prince, the amount of Dark Elixir required to upgrade 5 heroes rather than 4 was equally the same, but the amount of time required to get all 5 heroes to maxed went up quite significantly. Those time reductions need to be happening so that we don't get to the stage of, yes, we have 4 heroes to use, but our other builders are just locked up upgrading the new heroes. But I do think if they get the cost cuts correct, it could be a bit of a solution, but we did have a little bit more of a discussion about that as well. However, I'm trying to stick to the summarized important points in this video because all of this information was from my interview series with the Clash of Clans team to celebrate 100,000 subscribers on my second channel, Judo Sloth 2. The Super Troop feature is something else we could see some reworks to because the use rate of Super Troops is not incredibly high. Obviously, we have the 99% discount events for them now, which helps. But there are considerations of maybe when you get to a certain town hall, you unlock a super troop permanently and you don't have to be boosting it up. No concrete information on that though, so let's swiftly move along. Chests. The team are happy with the integration of chests and the treasure event. They see it as something exciting, which injects engagement into the game, and it's great to get more magic items and cosmetics into the hands of the free-to-play player. Whilst you can see all of the drop rates for chests within the game, David suggested that there is some sort of pity system for the chests, because he said if people play and get every chest over a 3 or 4 month period, they would get a legendary. So it is not possible for someone to have gained every chest possible that they have dropped into the game and not have a legendary at this stage. Yes, there'll be some luck involved. You might get more legendaries, less legendaries, but over the course of a 3 or 4 month period, you would at least get a legendary. Streak event. I'm covering this positively, but it's not working. They didn't achieve their objectives of engaging less active players, and the event was just always bugged. So they don't actually know what they want to do with it right now, but if it comes back, it will sure be improved from what we've seen in the past. More excitingly though, the 13th Clashiversary is just around the corner, and David thinks this could be the best.
Personally, I think this could be the best one that we've had.
Bigger than the 10th.
I think bigger than the 10th, yes.
Oof, bold. I did stress that I think the Clashiversary of the game is a time where you could offer a free scenery. Why not? It's a celebration. If players know that once a year, everyone can get a free scenery, they'd be way more likely to engage, and I feel like that was a lot of the success of the 10th Clashiversary. He insinuated that that would be the case this time around, which is awesome. He said it has a fantastic theme, there's lots going on, there is a progression boost in that of Summer Jam, where everything comes together and we get the gold elixir and dark elixir discounts, or at least in terms of the time on those upgrades. But obviously, as we get concrete information and I can bring sneak peek gameplay, I will be sharing that with you here on the channel. Moving to the second interview I did with community manager Ferry, we first discussed the new Elephant Rider troop, which won the Supercell Make campaign. It will be an event troop in the future, but there's no plans as to which one it is going to go into at the moment. They might even have more troops inspired from the entries because there were so many good ones, and Ferry also said they were so impressed with how well it went that they will probably run campaigns for new defenses or equipment, so I guess that's something we can look forward to. I did ask him a tough question regarding free-to-play players and people that can invest money into the game. How do they strike that balance? It was great to see his answer being so honest, and that's one thing about all of the interviews. We got raw information from the Clash of Clans team where they were just realistic with their answers as well. So he explained,
we're a business.
Therefore, they do want to make sure that paying users get the value, such as with the Gold Pass. That has to be desirable, and they create many events, whether it be the Gold Rush, the Treasure Hunt event, Unlimited Heroes, where there's no monetization. It is for everybody. He also said that most players across all Town Halls, including Town Hall 17, are actually free to play. I pinned him down about the Eagle Artillery decoration that we were promised. He said they actually have numerous designs. They just need to select the right one and then integrate it into the game. He did also say regarding decorations though, that they are working on a toggle to just hide them for all attacks, including Clan Wars. As I mentioned in my recent short, I think it's about time because bases are just becoming more of a mess. That reminds me, actually, one note I've skipped over from the David interview was that in Legends League, we won't see overpowered event troops for much longer. Maybe 1 or 2 more times, but then they will have a clear separation so that things like that won't pollute the competitive side of the game, and it opens up the guardrails as to what they could do for casual attacks. New cosmetics have been alluded to in the past, such as mythic hero skins. They've made concepts for these, but they're still working through the ideation of to what makes them special. Right now, they're thinking of animations when you press the hero ability, but they are still a work in progress. They are also transferring the troops from 2D to 3D so that in the future we could see troop skins as well. These I think would be fine since you know the level of your troop. They could never bring defensive skins because it would be annoying as an attacker to figure out the level of a defense. And for that reason, I do think troop skins shouldn't be active when it comes to defending clan castle troops. A minion prince skin is something we will see within the CWL shop, but they are also working on some minion prince skins for previous sets. The magic set was one of my favorite, so I'm looking forward to hopefully having one there. We got some cool stats off Ferry, such as there's been 10.5 billion town halls destroyed in 2025. The most used troop is the balloon, closely followed by the regular dragon. Least used is the ice hound. Most used equipment is eternal tome, followed by healer puppet, and the least used, can you guess? Slavaloon puppet. When it comes to these underused units, they are considering reworking some of the troops. Super Valkyrie was one that was discussed, but right now they've just had other priorities. They haven't been able to focus on what that would look like. Community events, such as the Rubble Rumble was the first one we had, have also been put on the back burner because most players didn't even know they were going on and didn't claim the rewards. I do think this is an issue, but I also feel like the community events were kind of manufactured. I'd much rather see an infinite scale of rewards. They would go up exponentially, and I think the star bonus would be perfect for this, especially if they add Starry Ore to it. Because let's say we had to destroy a certain amount of town halls, well then we could get a 2 times star bonus, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. It would just keep going up. They would set the boundaries to not break the economy, but if we do want to double our playtime as a community to get those better rewards, then let us. Regarding Town Hall 18, we see new Town Halls every 12 months now, so it will be at the back end of this year. And Ferry said that there will be a new gameplay mechanic that we've not seen before. Obviously, that's a number of months away, but I look forward to finding out more information about that. I also interviewed David Edwards, the marketing manager for Clash of Clans, who said when it comes to collaborations, such as the Haaland campaign or the WWE, typically they are 1 year in the making before they come into the game. Both of those campaigns were a success, but within different regions. That's understandable based on the popularity of football or soccer and the WWE. They are more or less popular in different areas of the world. Generally speaking though, Clash of Clans has a really huge global audience, over 2 billion lifetime downloads. There is some duplication in there, but we've got a large global audience, and that's part of the reason where they really want global pricing to work. If you weren't aware, right now Clash of Clans are working on this to adjust the price of in-game items, such as the Gold Pass, to be more accessible to different countries. And they are also bringing more payment options, such as to the Supercell store. We recently had UPI added for India. I think these are all fantastic things they are doing. Regarding the Netflix show that was announced, this is in production right now, and what he shared about the art style is that the barbarian character you see is slightly adapted from in the game so that they can show a wider range of emotions. The other topic we covered was merchandise. Clash of Clans do not have plans to make that themselves, but they do plan to continue partnering with companies to make sure that there can be Clash of Clans merchandise in the world, because they are trying to expand into different media spaces, developing the content and lore of the game. My 4th episode was then with Seth, one of the game designers, and this is where we discussed updates. It was honestly interesting to hear about philosophically how they think about different areas of the game and how they work on one particular aspect mainly. We do see little quality of life improvements here and there, but we're not likely to see little bitty changes around the game. More likely, they are going to overhaul a big feature and do all of the quality of life features within that. So one thing we discussed was friendlies, improving those so that, for example, friendly challenges could persist. I suggested a friendly Legends League day where you could go into battle with 8 of your friends, everyone would attack everyone, there'd be a leaderboard, or just full out custom friendly wars. I would love to see that. Controllable heroes could live there. We could adjust the attack time or the amount of troops were allowed. We could ban troops. Maybe even use your hero abilities on defense. Anything you could imagine, you could do within that. He said that any of those suggestions, if they were to come to the game, would likely all be added together as part of a Friendly's overhaul update. That's how they think about things. So with that in mind, following the Clash Anytime update, they are happy with how that has gone. Playtime has obviously increased. They're not looking to adjust the trophies that are on offer at the moment because they reduced them due to being worried about inflation. However, he did say they are working on more attacks in Legends League. Those loot attacks they have talked about. He wasn't able to give a timeline, but he did say the next 2 updates would be amazing. He did acknowledge that since Clash of Clans is such a global game, it is difficult to manage new players, returning players, the hardcore audience, people that play casually versus actively. But a huge focus they've had over the last couple of years, and we've definitely seen this, is ensuring that people can get to the highest town hall much quicker. Their ideal aim is within 1 to 3 years, depending on how much you play, obviously, because a few years back when it took years to get to the highest town hall, that's just not ideal. People will just quit. They're not even going to go on that journey if it takes that long. Once players get there and they fully max out their base, he insinuated that they tend to see people dropping off after about 2 weeks. He definitely acknowledged that there's more to be done to make end game more satisfying and make sure that people have a better experience there. That is part of the reason why they are bringing temporary content such as the superchargers and the crafted defenses. We ended up discussing those in quite a lot of depth. It's a discussion-based channel. It is for those longer conversations. So I just let it roll. We could get as much information as we could. People that enjoy that longer content, they could listen to that. And people that do not, well then you can hear it summarized here. And obviously the information gets disseminated down through social media, Reddit, etc. The one thing I'll say for you in this video is that he did say they are looking to find the limit of temporary content. I said to him, I don't think temporary content is satisfying, and I feel there should be some sort of cosmetic. There's a reason in Call of Duty you used to prestige to upgrade your icon. Something like that would be cool in Clash of Clans rather than just like the XP thing that we have at the moment. But the goal of this type of content is to give players at endgame stuff to do, which is what they desire. Clash is a progression game, but that people then moving through the town halls in years later don't have a slew of content at Town Hall 17 that they have to get through, because none of that temporary stuff would be there. So they're looking to find where that limit is. They will likely go over it, and once they find that, they will pull back and make sure that the game is satisfying for everyone, because they want to make the best game possible, and they are going to be working with us for that. Regarding single player and practice maps, it's something they are aware needs updating, but it's not something we can expect in the short term. Little stuff like having more base slots or renaming bases aren't necessarily going to come again in the short term because of how they have the UX and UI artists work on a feature at a time and making that as good as possible. Rather than a bunch of little stuff, they would be looking to overhaul things at the same time. So for example, next year, they are really looking to improve the social aspect of the game, and that's likely where we could see something such as clan alliances. Again, philosophically, the team is discussing, like, is 50 people even the right number in a clan? How do they actually work this where the game is better socially? So we can expect improvements on that moving into 2026. This is also where the builder base and the clan capital, I'm going to lump them both together because he said we can't expect any updates for them, at least not in the short term. They will have updates for them at some point. They want to improve the home village to make it as near perfect as they can. At that point, they can try and figure out where does the builder base fit into the journey you have in Clash of Clans, whereby you as a player know what the main focuses are, because as he explained it, new players coming in start in the home village. Used to be Town Hall 4, now they've moved it to Town Hall 6. They get the builder base. Oh, I've got to start upgrading stuff over here. Shortly after they join a clan, they get the clan capital. And like, is this game about managing like tons of different villages? So it can just be confusing, and they want to make sure that everything is interlinked in just a much better way. So for everyone asking, unfortunately, we probably won't see any changes or updates to the builder base or clan capital for quite some time, to be honest, is what he hinted. Because they're not going to add things when they don't even know what the actual purpose of those villages are, whilst they're changing the home village so much. Upgrading walls with no builders was something I was asked a lot, because all of these interviews, I was pulling in questions from my subscribers. As a 100,000 subscriber special, I did want to assure that everyone knew how much I appreciated the support on the second channel as well. So I wanted to go all out with these interviews. But Seth explained that we will not be seeing upgrading walls without a builder. For the primary reason that you can do that if you save a builder, if that's the tactic you want to go, there has to be some level of trade-off. But if you could upgrade walls without builders, as soon as you were about to log off, you just dump all of your loot into walls so that you didn't lose as much on defense. And what that would mean is in multiplayer, you'd just constantly be nexting because there'd be no loot to find. And we want those big 2 million loot raids. So that's the reasoning that they won't add that. The profile is an area that they acknowledge needs an overhaul more than anything else. There's a lot more cosmetics that could live there. It could be way more customizable. But again, looking at how they improve bigger areas to the game first, he said they'd be looking to get the home village in a much better spot to where they're happy with how the progression of things are going to go, whereby they can then overhaul the profile and everything's there. For example, seasonal defenses that they just added. Had they have overhauled the profile 6 months ago, there wouldn't have been a slot for anything crafted defense related. He says cosmetics in that of emotes, pins, badges, banners, such as in Clash Royale when you go into multiplayer attacks, lots of stuff like that are things that they are looking towards and likely we would see in the future. That was a blast of information of all of the key talking points from over 3 hours of discussion with the Clash of Clans team. We did go into a lot more of the why and the rationale behind some of these points in the interviews, obviously. So if you enjoy that, I will link you to the podcast playlist, but I wanted to ensure that I condensed all of the information for you here as well, because I know not everyone listens to that longer form content. I respect that, so I wanted to ensure you did get the information. Either way, let me know what you think of anything we discussed in the interviews down in the comments, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.